My mother-in-law is 94 years old this year. When she was younger, she used to make the fried chicken for us and everybody loved it crazily. But now she is quite old and it's time for us, the younger generation, to take over the work in the kitchen. So for today, I want to recreate her fried chicken by following her formula, but I also would like to add one more step before the marinating process of the chicken. That is to use some baking soda to pre-treat the chicken to make it even crispier. Today, I want to share his secret recipe with you and let's make it together. Alright, this is a drumstick. This is what my mother-in-law used to make the fried chicken. You can always use other part of the chicken if you like chicken wings. It's really up to you. The method is the same. Get a liter of water in a mixing bowl or in a pot and 1 liter of water for 1 kg of chicken. Place the chicken into the water. Now I add a teaspoon of baking soda into it, and you know why? Because this is the secret to make it crispy. Let me explain how it works. The baking soda actually removes the heavy fat under the skin and make it much thinner and it's ready to crunch. Let it sit for about 20 minutes and then let's move on. Next step, after 20 minutes, and now add the vinegar, and that's our second secret. Even though the soda works like a charm, but it may leave a metallic taste on the chicken, and that's why we use vinegar to neutralize it. Now definitely we don't want the baking soda and also the vinegar anymore. They have done their job. Now let's rinse them away. Now the skin becomes slightly thinner and becomes translucent. Can you see that? Keep it really dry. That's exactly how my mother-in-law did it. While treating the chicken with the baking soda, let's prepare the most important ingredients for the marinade for the chicken. That's ginger juice, and she used a lot. And it's more effective to use the spine of the cleaver to mash it. Squeeze out the ginger juice by putting into a cloth bag. Marinate it with ginger juice. Light soy sauce for the flavor, with some salt and pepper. Balance the flavor with some sugar, some wine, and cornstarch. Now get in there and massage well. We want the flavor deep in the meat. Let's marinate it for a few hours. Either you can transfer it to a Ziploc bag or just leave it there and cover it, put it into a refrigerator, and occasionally flip it over for even marination. These are the chicken that's already marinated for a few hours. Let me put it into another plate. Make sure the chicken is dry before we mix it with the starch. Toss them in the starch and give it a little pat on it so that the starch really stick on it, and shake off the excess. We just want a thin layer on top of it. Do the same for the rest. We have coated the chicken with the potato starch. It is just a thin layer. We do not want it to be too thick. So just leave it for about 10 minutes before we fry the chicken. Let the starch absorb into the skin first so that when we fry it afterwards, the starch won't float away and dirty the oil. I'm using a small pot to fry the chicken today by batches because at home I do not want to use too much of oil. I'll fry the chicken twice today. So round one, I'll fry it at a lower temperature, about 150 degrees. Or if you do not have a kitchen thermometer, you can just put a chopstick into it and you can see some small bubble rising up. That's about right. Lower the chicken into the hot oil. Now there's a lot of large bubble, which means that there's still a lot of moisture inside. I'll fry the chicken until the internal temperature reach about 70 to 75. Use the thermometer to test it. It should be around 6 minutes for this size of drumstick. And now it's already 75, so I need to remove it. Let's do the next batch. And it is always better to put it into a wire mesh strainer or a rack so that the moisture will be released unobstructed during this time. The paper towel will make the chicken become moist again. Let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes to let the moisture at the center migrate to the surface before we fry it for the second round to really crisp it up. And meanwhile, I just want to clean a little bit of the oil before I do the second round. Now we are going to get ready for the second round of frying. We need a higher temperature, at least 190. And if you do not have a thermometer, you can use a chopstick, and you should see the bubble now is actually bubbling vigorously, much more vigorous than the first round. If a bubble is in such a way, that means that it is around 190 degrees. Now let's add the chicken back to the oil. Whoa, listen to the sound. This is the sound of crispiness. Gradually, you'll hear the sound become not as loud as before, and the bubble will also become smaller and smaller. That means that the moisture now has been evaporated. So leave it there for about a little while. Keep an eye on it so that it will not be too brown. So now it's no longer that vigorous anymore. I'm sure that you can also hear my voice much clearer now. And it's about 1 minute already. It's just nice. So we just leave it out and put it into a colander or a wire rack to cool it off. This is a super crispy fried chicken. This is a taste that I have not had it for a long time. It's decades ago when my mother-in-law is still making it. If you want to get my family recipe, I've included it in the description below the video, and also I will add it to the end of this video for your reference. Thanks for watching. I hope you love my family recipe, my mother-in-law's recipe, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.